Let's talk about nervousness, and this is actually an interesting one because a lot of times I've seen people when they get the opportunity to come and act on set and they mess it up because they are nervous, they don't have confidence, and it shows in everything they do. And it is normal because after all we are all human beings. But what I like us to do is let's look at the two things that obviously are the source of nervousness. These are the things that will make you feel nervous in any situation apart from acting. Number one is because obviously you feel you don't qualify for this. Somehow you believe you can do this, but you're just feeling like, okay, I don't qualify for this because I've not done this before. Because you don't have an experience to rely on, so you are nervous. You will always be like, how am I going to do this to make sure I get it right? So that is the number one source of nervousness, the lack of experience. You've not done this thing before. The second one, which is kind of crazy, is most of the times I've come to understand that you would think that the people there don't like you. So you are careful not to mess it up, so that you are just trying to do for them everything possible. You're trying to do everything possible for them to like you. So you're trying to make them like you to compensate for the lack of your experience, and then trying to make them like you, you get unnecessarily nervous. Now this is what you do. When it comes to dealing with nervousness, which is something you will experience when it comes to your few first times of being involved in filmmaking, is this. Whenever you are given something to do, rehearse it 1,000 times before coming to set. That way, if you rehearse 5 or 6, 7 times, when you come to set, you already have an existing experience, even though it is just between you and yourself alone. But somehow, somewhere in your subconscious mind, there is an already existing experience. And if you like what you did behind closed doors, that will boost your morale and say, okay, if I can't do this behind closed doors, it's just for me to show these people. So for you to make sure you don't feel nervous on set, make sure you practice and practice and practice a lot of time before you come to set, so that set is not just the first time you are trying to practice what you've been asked to do. And I understand that the challenging thing here is this. A lot of time as a first timer, you might not be given the material ahead of time. You might just be getting the material on set. Now, if you come to set and you've just been given the material, obviously they're not just going to start shooting you. Sometimes they might not even give you the material. Look for the material once you're on set. Go to one corner, practice it 1,000 times, as much as you can, before it is your time for the director to now call action. That way, you have an already existing experience you can rely on when you hear action. Number two is, I need you to understand something, because all of us have been there. It's none of your business trying to make people like you, really. Your job is to make them like what you do. And you need to understand that nobody's deputy Jesus. So, we are all human beings, so why will you be scared of me? Why will you be scared of anybody? Why will you care if they like you or not? Because once you begin to care and try to impress them, to compensate, to make them like you, get unnecessarily nervous. Yours is come here, having at the back of their mind that because Billion is behind the camera calling action, don't necessarily mean he's better than me. In no way. It just simply means that he has worked enough, or he has been able to get to this level because he's obviously has been building over time. Now I'm just starting to build mine now. It doesn't mean he's better than me. And nobody is deputy Jesus, my brother, my sister. Nobody. We are all humans. We are all trying to win it. So have that at the back of your mind that this guy is not necessarily better than me. This guy is not deputy Jesus. Actually, I'm not supposed to be scared of him. I'm not even supposed to be worried. Like, in your mind, look at that person as someone who is like your pal, someone who you don't have to necessarily pretend or get worried about or trying to impress. So this is how you deal with nervousness during your few first times on set. Number one is practice a lot of time so that you have an already existing experience. Your mind, your subconscious mind could rely on when you hear action. Number two is to make sure that you understand that nobody is assistant God or deputy Jesus. We are all human beings, and so therefore you're not supposed to be scared of them for any reason. That they are behind the camera doesn't necessarily mean they are better than you. It just means that, okay, they've been working on this for a while now, and I'll soon get it too. So that's how you deal with nervousness, because it will mess you up if you don't deal with it, if you don't handle it. And I know this tip will be able to help you get over that.